Alrighty, hi, it's Melinda from Hope When There Was None. Thank you for joining in. I'm here with Alexis Kraselic, and she is for Start with Lemon. She's going to talk to us today about using essential oils. So let's get into it. May I ask you first, thank you for joining us, first of all.
Thanks for having me.
And also, second, may I ask a little bit, how did you get started with this, with oils?
Yeah, totally. So I actually started using essential oils back, I think maybe in high school. I just went to like the local health food store and I found some Now brand essential oils, and I just had tea tree and peppermint, and that was it. And I really liked them. I always liked kind of more natural alternatives and just doing things other people weren't doing. That's always been my specialty. And so I really was pretty interested in them, and then I started using some Young Living essential oils, and I got a kit, and I was using them a lot when I lived in Vietnam because the air pollution was so bad. I was an English teacher, and kids were sick all the time. You know, they're wiping their nose, touching each other, so many germs, and the sanitation over there was just not super high. So people were constantly sick. All my fellow teachers were sick, and I was determined to not get sick, but I also didn't want to guzzle like cough syrup and everything like everybody else was doing. And I've always tried to stay away from medicine as much as I can and go to other natural alternatives. And the body's so strong at healing itself. We just have to give it the right tools to do so. So I started getting more and more interested in essential oils. And then actually I learned about doTERRA and their third-party testing and what they do with their Healing Hands Foundation, which is their nonprofit, and how they work with their farmers just so resonated with me. And then I started using their oils, and before I really liked them, but then when I started using them, I saw such a difference, and it just completely like took over my life. And so that's my go-to for everything now. It's like, you have a problem, I've got an oil to help solve it.
I'm like that with crystals. It's like, oh, you got problems here. Here's a crystal.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So we are, of course, with this group, we do discuss abuse, also emotional wounds, and so on and so on. And I noticed I did use essential oils, but I'm not saying with who. I did use them, but I've also used your products as well, and I love them. Now, I had gotten started similar to you, peppermint. And I use a lot, I have migraines, and I use a lot of lavender because I had read that that's good for anxiety. At the time I had PTSD. And so what else can someone use besides, I mean, that was my go-to, I'm just using lavender. So what else can someone use?
Absolutely. I've got a whole, you guys can't see them. I'm going to pick them up and show them to you, but I've got them all in sections down here on the ground. And there's a lot to be done. So essential oils can be used in 3 ways in case you guys don't know, and that's internally. You can use them topically and aromatically, as in like diffusing them and smelling them, which is the most common one. And just so everyone knows, when you diffuse them or smell them, that gets into your brain. When you apply them topically, that is likely to get into your bloodstream. And when you ingest them, it gets into your gastrointestinal tract. And they're going to enter within about 20 minutes. It's going to be in every cell of your body, which is awesome. They work on a cellular level because the structure of the oils comes from plants, and it's very similar to that of humans. So that's really good news because they don't just work on a surface level, right? They really get into everything. And one thing I wanted to say is really important when talking about anxiety, PTSD, depression, is that we're actually able, through smells, to rewire our brain, which is really, really good news, right? Because our brain has been altered and is, wired to a different state, and we want to bring it to something else, right? And we want to associate memories and actions and things that we do with really positive things. We want to try to get away from associating it or it being associated with something negative, right? Whether that's a physical response or a mental response or something like that. So, and the reason that this works, just really quickly before I get into what to use, I just want to make sure everyone knows like why it's effective, not just, oh, this is like hoo-ha kind of, like stuff. Is that actually, so when you smell something, it gets into your olfactory bulb. which is where smell goes. And that sits in your brain right beside your limbic system, which controls your memories, your base like primal desires. And so if you guys have ever like smelled something and been like, whoa, it's like I'm in 4th grade at my grandmother's house and she's baking this pie, right? Like you've all had that moment where you connect something and the smell just brings you right back. Or maybe you smell something and you just feel like instantly calm, or maybe something instantly anxious or something like that, right? That's because when you smell things, your brain actually connects to that memory or that feeling, which again is good news, because every time you smell an oil and you connect it to happiness, or you connect it to not being anxious, or perhaps you have, you know, a memory and you want to replace it with something else, you can smell something and think about a more positive memory and connect those two together. And then the neurons in your brain are firing and wiring together. So again, you're able to rewire your brain, which is awesome news, because that means that you don't have to stay stuck in that, you know, mental state that you're in. You actually can physically do something about it, right? So that's just a little bit of why it's really effective. And so I'm going to get into some different sections of oils, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have, or anybody coming back and watching the replay, happy to answer anything as well. So I've definitely got tackled for anxiety as well as depression, and some PTSD can work in here as well. So the first two are just for more positive mood and a lot of energy. So when you feel anxious or depressed, it can be hard, right, to do anything, or you can just feel so drained. So the combo that I really love, or you could use these separately, is peppermint and wild orange.
Ooh.
So these two together, peppermint's super invigorating. It really wakes you up. I always smell it if I need like a boost in energy. And wild orange, any kind of citrus oil is going to be uplifting. And together, these are a super powerful combo. So what you can do with them is you could put these in a diffuser together. You could apply 1 drop to your hand and smell it. You could even apply it to the back of your neck, apply it to your chest. And then also you could take these internally. Peppermint is pretty strong. So herb oils or leaf oils are going to be 50 to 70 times more potent than the plant. So this 1 drop is equal to about 28 cups of peppermint tea. So it's like really strong, right? If you don't need a lot, I would recommend, if you're going to take this internally, to take it in a veggie capsule. So you can just buy empty veggie capsule on like Amazon or anything, and just take 1 drop of each, and then you can just swallow that. Because like I said, it's just, peppermint's kind of a little spicy if you just take it through your tongue. But peppermint and wild orange are a great combo when you need that boost in mood, boost in energy, and kind of motivation to get going and everything. And then, like you said, lavender, that's going to be an awesome one. That's a go-to for, I love to use this one 2 ways, proactively and reactively. So if I already know I'm going in a stressful situation, or you know you may be encountering something that's triggering for you, go ahead and smell lavender. Maybe apply some to the back of your neck, behind your ears. You could even put a drop in your hand just so you can come back and, you know, keep smelling it. You could do a little bit like right under your nose. Or, you know, if you're in your room, you could diffuse it or something like that. Or just chuck it in your purse and have it with you, you know, or your bag on the go. And then anytime that you do start feeling anxious, or you do start having some, you know, negative thoughts or negative memories, give this one a smell. And it's going to help to calm you back down. This is also a great one. You can use any of these in a bath, in an Epsom salt bath, but I love lavender in an Epsom salt bath. It's so nice. I also have the roll-on. So this is just an easy one. You guys can make these yourselves, but I just have it pre-diluted with fractionated coconut oil, and I'll just rub it on my temples anytime I need that calming down of the body, of the brain, the zenness. Another great one that's super, super powerful, and I know that especially if you have anxiety, for me, one of the worst times for my anxiety would flare up would be at nighttime, just because you're alone, you know, and it's just you and your thoughts, you know. And so I struggled with sleep for a while because I was just so anxious, and it would all come rushing in right at nighttime. So Serenity is my favorite oil for nighttime. It's got awesome things like ylang-ylang, marjoram, cedarwood, lavender, Roman chamomile, vanilla, Hawaiian sandalwood, all just super calming oil. So again, you can use this during the day, but I call it like the powerhouse oil. So I only try to use it at sleep time. And again, the more you use these oils with the action or with the feeling you're trying to have, the stronger the connection will be. So the more I've used Serenity, the quicker I smell it now, I go to sleep really quickly now, right? Like, because it gets more effective over time, which is really neat. So this is a great combo. Any kind, also at nighttime, any kind of woodsy oil, so like a Siberian fir, a Douglas fir, cedar wood, those are going to just help to calm you down as well. And my other absolute favorite, and this is the one, if you had no other oil for anxiety or depression, this is 100% the one I'd recommend. It's Balance. So this essential oil, has spruce, it's got frankincense, blue tansy, blue chamomile, and osmanthus. I don't even know what that one is. It's a flower, but this oil it's called the grounding blend. And I wish you guys could smell this, because it's like kind of sweet a little bit, but it's just like pure calm. Like you can't help but smell it and just relax. So this is the oil I always have, even if I just get agitated or something, like this is the oil that I go to. And again, it's a great one to use proactively, right? So if you know what your trigger points are, you know that this may be a stressful situation, or you're not really looking forward to some activity or something, this is a great one to have on hand. And the quickest place that the oil will get into your body is actually on the bottom of your feet. So you want to apply it to your big toe and the ball of your foot. I just use like some coconut oil and put a drop or two and just rub it over my whole feet. And then just put socks on, or you can, just chuck your shoes on. But that just helps to ground me. And I love to use this one just daily, just because you never know what's going to come up in life, right? Like you never know. So I love to use this one just as a daily oil. And that is going to be, again, the more you use it, the more effective it's going to get, which is really good news. And one that is amazing for anxiety. So CBD oil is really popular right now, and maybe some of you guys use it. And it's pretty much like in everything. You can get it in coffee and food and like taking over the world by storm. And someone had asked me if they thought doTERRA would ever make CBD oil. And I do not think so, because we have an oil that's even stronger and going to affect your brain and your body's physical state less. And that's Papaya or Papaya. So this is from a sap of a tree, and it smells woodsy. And this is my go-to for inflammation. This is the strongest for inflammation. So if you guys have aches, pains, anything like that, but also for helping to calm you down and give you the same benefits that CBD does, but even more powerful, and again, less altered of a state. So what you do is you can diffuse this, you can smell it. I just lift my tongue up like this and put one drop underneath. If you don't like the taste, again, you can put it in a veggie cup, but this is the number one oil. Like lavender is amazing, Balance is amazing, but especially for people who suffer with really, if your anxiety or depression is like really intense, this is 100% the one that I recommend everybody has. It's amazing. So now I've got some uplifting oils. Okay, so we're, maybe you're feeling a little bit depressed, or your anxious thoughts are coming, and we want to switch, right? We want to be happier, we want to feel more positive and not drained, right? So these are the oils that are going to be super uplifting, and again, smelling them is going to be super effective. So just you can open the bottle, literally just give it a smell, or put a drop in your hand, take a big deep breath in. And then I also love to put these on my perfume points. So I don't use perfume because it's generally super toxic, and you spray it on your thyroid and parts of your body that don't want toxins to get in. So I use oils as perfume. I think they smell a whole lot better. Anyway, and I can make different perfume combinations any day I want, which is super fun. So I've got 5 oils, which are great for uplifting. 2 of them are pre-made roller balls.
Okay.
One of them is called Motivate. And so obviously it's great for motivation. It's great for focus. And again, it just helps to get you up out of just
That
sitting in
funk.
your puddle, right?
Yes.
And to get up and to do things. And another one is cheer. So this is a great one to evoke those happy emotions, or you're just maybe not feeling so cheerful, and you want to alter that. Cheer is an amazing one. And my friend, she experiences a lot of anxiety, and she was kind of having an anxiety attack, and she applied both of these like to her arms, to her perfume points, Motivate and Cheer together, and she said within a couple seconds it started to go away. So that could be a really powerful combo for people. And I love those too, just to help me work, or maybe before I do like a live video, to get energy. So it doesn't just have to be in those moments, right, where you feel that anxiety or those depressive thoughts. It can be, anytime as well. And the other 3 are lime, bergamot, which is another citrus oil, and lemongrass. So all of these can be used in combination with each other, or some of the oils I mentioned before. Like I love doing lime and bergamot and balance together. I think it calms you down, but it also lifts up your mood,
Wow.
And again, any of these are going to be great to smell. You could also apply them to the roof of your mouth. That's going to get into your brain really quickly. Or you could, apply it to the bottom of your feet. So the more and more you can use them in connection, the stronger it's going to be. And the last 2 I just wanted to tell you guys about is a more physical approach to anxiety and depression. So I work a lot with gut health with my clients, and on balancing your gut, because 90% of your serotonin is made in your gut. So that's important, right? And really also, again, good news, because we have a lot of control over our serotonin, right? Only 10% is made in our brain, and that's where usually we focus, and that's important. But if we're not eating well, if our gut's really damaged, if we're stressed and that's damaging our gut, then it's going to be hard for us to produce the serotonin to have the moods that we want, right? Or to reduce anxiety. So one of them is digestion. So if you guys struggle with digestion, there's probably some gut things going on. And so digestion is really great for helping to quell any kind of like bloating. It's great for constipation. It's great for just like gurgliness, indigestion, anything like that, so that your digestive system can function optimally, and it can start producing that higher level of serotonin. And the other one is a women's blend. So if any men are watching, this is for the ladies, but it's called Clary Calm, and this is the hormone balancing blend. So what I do is literally just swipe it on my abdomen every single day. It's also great for PMS or if you have cramps. But I do this every day because if your hormones are out of balance, again, that's going to cause your moods to be all over the place, and hormonal imbalance is often a cause of gut health issues in the first place. So these really go together, and making sure that you're, that we're working with our brain and all that with the oils and the smells, but we're also taking care of what physically might be causing some of our anxiety, as well, or perpetuating it, keeping it, dragging on much longer than we want. So those are a whole lot of oils, but different ones, for different things. And of course, you don't have to use all of them. You can use them in conjunction. You can find one that you really love and continuously use that more and more. But also, one thing too is, especially for rewiring for positive emotions as well as positive memories, pick an oil that you'll use. So if you don't like cheer, don't try to make yourself use cheer, right? Use something that you'll like and you'll use, and apply that and use it regularly to help to build up that connection. Wow, every time I smell this, I feel really good now, or I'm taken back to that beach, or whatever it is that you're trying to connect. And so that's just one of the biggest things is I can tell you all of these, and scientifically these are what work, but also you may find that you love like ylang-ylang, which smells like a field of daisies. And that's the one you want to, associate with positive emotions. And that's okay too. Whatever works for you is what you want to use.
Awesome. Oh my gosh, I've learned so much. Holy cow. And I love your enthusiasm. I could tell that you just love what you do, and that is amazing. That is awesome. I do have one question. Well, you mentioned towards the end, what if you don't like this big thing of cheer? Can you send like a tester to somebody if they're interested to try one of these?
Yeah, so I can't with cheer and motivate just because they're in pre-made like roller balls.
Right.
But I do have samples that I can send out to people. If you're in the US, I can send those out to you of any of the oils. So let me know if there's something that you would like to try, and we can get you a little sample of that. And I also send people how to use them so that you don't just get this and say, well, now I have no idea what the heck this is, but that, you're able to do something.
Oh, you know what? I wonder, back in the day, you look a little young, but back in the day, we used to send letters, snail mail, and sometimes we would spritz perfume on our letters. Could you maybe do like the roller ball of cheer or whatever, or a roller ball, and put it like in a plastic bag, on a piece of paper in a plastic bag, and then maybe that'll have, I don't know, just a thought. Just
definitely.
thinking.
That's a good idea. And someone told me the other day too, they were like, oh, you should do that with all your, because anytime anyone gets any oils or anytime anyone becomes a client with me, if they're in the US, I'll just handwrite them a little note, congratulating them, or I'm so excited. And someone was like, you should spray everything with lemon, because I'm called Start with Lemon. That's brilliant. I could definitely do that if someone is interested in either of those two. I have cheer, motivate, and there's another one called passion, which is also really great. I love to use it when I'm getting in a creative kind of mode to get like really passionate and excited about my work. But again, like I said, it's important to smell, because the different things work, totally for different people. So.
Right. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. And so everyone can go to your page and Start with Lemon, and it's an awesome page. I rock her page all the time as much as I can. And I know you have a group too. So if anybody is interested in learning more about the oils or even the business working with her, please can they visit you on Facebook via Start with Lemon, or how can they do that?
So my page, my business page is called Start with Lemon. And then I have a community where I talk a lot about holistic lifestyle. We talk about stress, anxiety. We do it with oils, but also, food and exercise and just your daily habits, because all those things, play a role. And I tell people, like, you can have the best oils and be using them, but if your diet's off or if you're not getting any movement, right, they all work, together. And my group is called the Lemonade Community. So if anyone, I'll put the link in the video. If anyone wants to come over and join, it's free. It's fun. Lots of live streams, lots of posts if you guys like to read, blogs, all that kind of stuff.
Yay. Well, thank you. And if anybody's interested, they can just go ahead and message you privately too. Well, this has been great. I appreciate all the information.
Of course. I'm so excited for everyone, and I hope that it's really helpful, and to know that you totally are not alone in whatever you're feeling, that there are plenty of people feeling the same thing out there. And we probably have felt a lot of similar things as well. But the great news is that there's hope, and you're not powerless to what's going on. You can absolutely do something, and that's why I love teaching people. And that's why I'm so passionate about it, because you don't just have to be a bystander to your life and your emotions and what's happened. You can actively work on it. So
I love that. Thank you so much. Well, we're going to sign off. If you guys have any other questions, by all means, please reach out to her. If you have any questions for me, message me privately. I'm going to let you go. It's Melinda signing off from Hope When There Was None. Bye-bye.
Bye.